not as short as
I'd rather lose a leg than a back surgery.
so good.
Dave,
we're
starting the meeting.
Okay, we'll call the 23rd meeting, Village Board of Trustees, Village of Depew, February 10th, 2025, and it's 7 o'clock. The pledge by Trustee Kraft.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
One remain standing for a second. We meet to serve our community, to use our resources wisely and well, to represent all members of our community fairly, to make decisions that promote the common good. We recognize our responsibility to the past and the future, and the rights and the needs of both individuals and community. As trusted servants, we seek blessings on our deliberations and our efforts here tonight. May we act wisely and well. Amen. Notification of fire exits.
The emergency exits are located to my left in the rear of the room. In the event of an alarm or emergency, please move in an orderly fashion to the exits and evacuate the building.
Roll call.
Trustee Morowski.
Here.
Trustee Zinfeld.
Here.
Trustee Kraft.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Adolph.
Here.
And Mayor Peterson.
Here. Tonight we have a somewhat short agenda. You'll be able to comment on the agenda items only initially. We do have a public hearing tonight, which is the first item that's up. If you're here with a question on a public hearing, wait until we open the public hearing, and then we'll go from there. So, first item tonight, number one, is a resolution considering a stop sign, the intersection of Lee Street, Howard Lane, and George Street. Second item tonight is appoint the inspector for the village elections of 2025, which are on March 18th, 2025. Third resolution, permission to waive a permit fee for the Depew Community Action Team for a sign that they want to install at the new community center across the parking lot. Resolution 4, authorize the administrator to advertise for a public hearing for a proposed soccer field and parking lot. We've talked about it a little bit. The property that is between Columbia and Olmsted and Transit Road and Lincoln. Village used to own it, the school took it back. I think the school had it, the village had it, Depew schools have it. They leased the ball diamond and the property that's from the outfield fence west to our all-inclusive playground park that's there. That was under a 10-year lease. I believe there's 4 years left on the lease. However, interim superintendent Jeff Raby at Depew Schools has offered it to the village for a token $1. It's about 3 acres or so, and we have done a proposal for a youth soccer field there. Our rec director has teams ready to play there, most likely.
Yeah. Healthy Buffalo has one name.
Okay. And we know that there's some concerns, probably, maybe, about parking, so we've incorporated parking into the proposal, which will also help for our all-inclusive park, which gets an awful lot of attention throughout the week. And then the baseball diamond people, they have an agreement with Southeast Works over here to borrow their parking lot. You know, when need be, a lot of people wind up parking on Columbia. So if they had a parking lot, it might be a good use. We'd probably put some no parking then along Columbia so that we keep open that entire street. But We have a public hearing that we're going to advertise for tonight to allow the public to come and take a look at the proposal. And now the public hearing will be on March 10th, so a month from tonight. Next resolution is to modify the 2024-25 budget. It's a couple of lines there. Did you want to share what they are?
It's just some funds that we got in. One was the grant that the fire department got for their
The
radios.
277?
Yep. And then the other was funds that the police department had taken in.
Next resolution authorized the mayor to sign settlement agreement between Zeiss and the village of Depew and the police department. Permission to waive another permit fee for Our Lady of Blessed Sacrament School on French Road. This is, usually we do this for their fish fries during Lent. Next item up is approve a bond resolution for Phase 9 of our DEC consent order. We're getting down to the end. We have 11, I believe.
Yep.
So this is a 9. We won't be reading all of this, right, Sam?
No, you can just,
There's an abbreviated portion of it. And the last item on tonight's agenda is to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with Stormwater Control Facility Maintenance Agreement with O'Reilly Parts, Auto Parts, the new shop that's up on Transit Road. So other than the public hearing, does anybody have any questions on any of those other 8 or 9 items? At the end of tonight's meeting, when we get down to towards the end of the meeting, we open it up for any questions on any other topics, but we'll take any questions or comments on the agenda items right now. Okay, any questions, comments? Okay, let's roll into our public hearing.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I'd like to make the following motion that we move into the public hearing at 7:08 PM tonight.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And carried.
Be it resolved, the village administrator is hereby authorized to advertise for a public hearing to discuss the possibility of a proposed stop sign at the intersection of Lee Street, Howard Lane, and George Street. The public hearing will be held on February 10th, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers, Village Hall, 85 Manitou Street, Depew, New York, 14043.
The request came to the board and followed its normal path, and it went to the police department. Chief McNamara, did you want to start anything, or no?
No.
Okay. We're open for any comments. Yes, come on up, state. Break the ice, if you would.
Hi, my name's Jessica Smith Overholt, 148 Lee Street. Excuse me, I've lived on Lee Street for 12 years. I've witnessed a crash at that intersection. I've seen near misses. Driving up and down that street, you know you have to keep your eyes on all intersections. It's one of the communities in Depew that doesn't have sidewalks. There are lots of children, multiple bus stops, up and down the street. There is no reason to not put a stop sign at that intersection. The community has banded together. You see the stop, drive like your kids live here. We've had to take it into our own hands because the only people that whip up and down the street they're the only people that don't want a stop sign there. It's 30 miles an hour, it's residential. Put a stop sign.
Who doesn't want a stop sign?
The guys that fly down the street,
Like
past
from
my kids.
Ream or something?
Yes, from
Going
Ream,
down?
or when you come up from transit, you can get a good clip going and people
Gotcha.
just fly on by.
All right.
And, my kids' bus stops are on those corners and they don't have sidewalks to stand on. So just slow the cars down, put up the stop signs. It's an easy fix.
That one accident that you mentioned, what was it coming from?
It was coming from Howard. I was driving to work. It was my neighbor had pulled out. He was driving down Lee, and someone was coming down Howard, did not stop, and flew into the back of his pickup truck. And they had a small child in the back of the car, and it was just someone who wasn't familiar with the neighborhood
Yeah.
and just failed. So that should be a four-way stop.
Okay.
I think that's all I got. So thank you very much for
Any-
your time.
Thank you.
If any of the board members have any questions for anybody that comes up, feel free to.
Just a quick question. You're telling me the bus stop, there's no sidewalk there?
No.
They got a district put a
They-
stop.
And now, like, since COVID times, like, the schools are a little more, they used to be corners, which again, no sidewalks. Now it's sometimes driveways, but sometimes it's still corners. Like, my children leave at 7:05 in the morning. Half the year it's dark, and they're standing on the street, and cars are just flying by. So, I mean, shame on me for maybe not bringing this to the board
Right.
earlier, but my kids' bus stop was only like 4 houses down. I would drive them because I just felt it was safer if we sat in the car until the bus came. I mean, maybe it's lazy, but at the same time, it's just no sidewalks, standing in the middle of the street, cars flying by.
I'm just a little curious if you took it to the district, the school district about that, about where you put it.
There is that too.
What
I
was their
mean,
response?
I mean, I bought a house knowing that there were no sidewalks on the street. So, like, I can't be like, why are there no sidewalks? I know there's no sidewalks there. But it's just, if we could slow the traffic down, I think it would make the neighborhood feel a lot better.
Did the schools do anything? There used to be a ball diamond back there off of Fredericks, is it?
Yep, it's still there.
Is there still a ball diamond?
Yep.
Has it been fixed up a little
Behind
bit?
Sholey is like, I think it's still a ball diamond. And then on the Ream Road Town
Yeah,
Park.
soccer's there.
That's soccer.
Yeah.
Yep.
But there was a parking lot there. They were doing that, I think. Yeah, okay, good. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Just need your name and your address, please.
I'm Patricia Quinn, 105 Lee Street. I actually live at that corner where Howard and George and Lee all meet. And my son, when he started going to kindergarten, the bus driver actually did change his bus stop. He was supposed to be catty corner from us. And the bus driver was like, well, I'm not doing that to your, 5-year-old. I'm not making him cross 2 streets in the dark during winter. I will pick you up at your driveway. And it's been like that since he started. And it does make me feel a little bit safer, but because we don't have sidewalks, my kids are, we play in our driveway, we ride our bikes down the street, we go over to the Sholey playground all the time during the summer. And without the stop sign, it makes me very anxious for my boys to walk over and ride their bikes over because people do come around that bend very quickly, either coming from Ream or coming from transit. I've also almost seen near accidents. People have stopped on Lee Street acting like it's a 4-way stop when it hasn't, and then they almost get rear-ended because they've stopped when there's not a stop sign. And so I want to make it safer. Like, we have kids, house catty corner to us has kids. That's a big bus stop in the morning as well. I think I see the bus stop there about 3 times, starting at 6:30 in the morning. And it's still dark at this point. So I would really appreciate a stop sign to make it safer for our families.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions? Okay. Anybody else?
I'll just go for like a minute or two. So I'm Rebecca Detliff at 112 Lee Street. I hate microphones.
Not gonna bite you.
Just to like ditto everything that they said. My daughter that is her bus stop, so she's in the middle of the street, especially in the winter when there's snow and ice.
Yeah.
It's even more dangerous. There was a near miss this past first week of school where a car flew probably 45 miles an hour. Someone did call the cops. I don't know how much far you get in there, but one of the other parents looked and called the police. It was really scary though, because my kid's standing in that street. So yeah, I guess. And to answer your question though, we did call the school.
Okay.
They moved, so our kids are at Sholey, so they moved the bus stop originally to Fairview. But that's far. It's in our backyard, they have to walk a whole block, also without sidewalks, to get to Airview. So to expect kindergartners and first graders to do that it's a lot. So all the bus drivers have like taken it into their own hands to move it. But then they could get in trouble.
Sure.
They're not supposed to do that.
Right.
So it would make,
Or when they have a substitute bus driver.
yeah.
And on, how many young kids are on that area there? Would
I mean,
you,
there's a lot. Like
so do they break up, let's say, between Ream down to Howard? Is there multiple stops?
One at Howard, one at Frederick, and then at Howard.
Ream, okay.
And then there's a driveway that gets picked up in the middle of Green Street, like
Yeah.
across from me. So there's 4 or 5 stops.
Is it more than, let's say, what, 3 houses that the young kids have to walk?
Yeah, and it's
More
around
than?
a curve as well, so you can't even see it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Been through there many, many times, yeah. I understand.
done.
Okay. You did good.
Thank you.
Anybody else? You not?
Moral support.
Oh, okay. Oh. So, we have another meeting in 2 weeks. We'll have this resolved by 2 weeks from now. Yep. Good? I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I'd like a motion to close this open hearing at 7:18 PM.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Okay. Next resolution, appoint inspector of election for the 2025 village election.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Be it resolved pursuant to Section 15-116 of the Village Election Law of the State of New York, the following inspector of election is hereby appointed to serve at the specified amount of $165/inspector per day for the general village election to be held on Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. This replacement inspector is from the Erie County Board of Elections list of certified inspectors. Jan Yarborough replaced Linda Palm.
I second the motion.
Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Morowski.
Yes.
Trustee Zimba.
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Adolph.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
And that's carried.
Next resolution, permission to waive a permit fee.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following resolution and move for its adoption. Whereas the Depew Community Action Team has requested permission to waive the sign permit fee for a sign that will be installed next to the main entrance of the Depew Community Center, 570 Gold Avenue, Depew, New York, 14043. Now, therefore, be it resolved that permission is hereby granted to the Depew Community Action Team to waive the sign permit fee.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried.
Bless you.
Resolution number 4, authorize the administrator to advertise for public hearing for a proposed soccer field and parking.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I'd like to make the following motion, move for its adoption. Be resolved, the village administrator is hereby authorized to advertise for a public hearing to discuss a proposed soccer field with parking at the field at West Dawson at 19 Columbia Avenue, Depew, New York, 14043. The public hearing will be held on March 10th, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers, Village Hall, 85 Manitow Street, Depew, New York, 14043.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Resolution number 5, authorized to modify the 2024-2025 budget.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Be it resolved, the administrator is hereby authorized to modify the 2024-2025 budget in the following manner. Item number 1, 10.4.2770 in the amount of $39,313 moved to 10.5.3120.3435. Item number 2, 10.4.4090 in the amount of $277,219.04. Moved to 10.5.3412.
I second the motion.
Need a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Morowski.
Yes.
Trustee Zimba.
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Adolph.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
And that's carried.
Resolution number 6, authorize the mayor to sign an agreement.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I'd like to make a motion and move for its adoption. Be it resolved, Mayor Kevin Peterson is authorized to sign the settlement agreement for Zeiss versus the Village of Depew.
I second that.
Need a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Morowski.
Yes.
Trustee Zimba.
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Adolph.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
That's carried.
Resolution 7, permission to waive a permit fee.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following resolution and move for its adoption. Whereas Our Lady of Blessed Sacrament School, 20 French Road, Depew, New York, 14043, has requested permission to waive the sign permit fee for the portable temporary sign at OLBS School for their fish fries during Lent. Now, therefore, be it resolved that permission is hereby granted to Our Lady of Blessed Sacrament School, 20 French Road, Depew, New York, 14043, to waive the sign permit fee for the portable temporary sign at OLBS School/St. Martha's Parish.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Glad we're doing it early
Yeah.
than the last
Yes.
years. They finally got on board. All right. Resolution 8, approve the bond resolution for Phase 9.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I'd like to make a motion, move for its adoption. Whereas the Village of Depew, Erie County, New York, known as the Village, has entered into a consent agreement with New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, DEC, to remediate issues related to the discharge of sewer system overflow. And whereas such DEC agreement requires that the village undertake sewage system monitoring, repair, remediation, and reconstruction in order to avoid civil fines and penalties. And where the Village Board of Trustees of the village desire to undertake a capital improvement project, Phase 9, for the reconstruction of and construction of improvements to the village sewer system. And whereas the village intends to apply for grant funding from New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation. Now therefore be it resolved by the Village Board of Trustees, accept the bond resolution.
I second that.
Need a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Morowski.
Yes.
Trustee Zimba.
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Adolph.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
And that is carried.
Resolution number 9, authorize the mayor to sign yet another agreement.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Be it resolved, Mayor Kevin Peterson is authorized to sign the Stormwater Control Facility Maintenance Agreement with O'Reilly Auto Parts for the property at 6142 Transit Road.
I second the motion.
A roll call vote, please?
Trustee Morowski.
Yes.
Trustee Zimba.
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Adolph.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
And that's carried.
Resolution number 10, the department head reports for Building Department, February through April 2024, Building Department, August 2024 to January 25th, and the Police Department, January 2025.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion to move for its adoption for the department head reports. Building Department, February, April 2024. Building Department, August 24, January 25. Police Department, January 25.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And all three of those are carried. Tonight, we have no unfinished or other business. Before we get to public comments and concerns, we'll go around the room to our departments. We'll start over on my left with DPW, Ken Pick.
Good evening. I'm sure a lot of you have heard that there is a salt shortage. We have been able to keep our supply adequate so far, so
Don't tell anybody.
that's a good thing. Adequate.
It's all over the news.
That's all I have.
Okay. Are you trimming trees, or did you do that?
Bear different trees.
Okay. Our rec director, Kevin Ferguson.
Good evening. We have about 2 learn to skate weeks left, and we should be wrapping that up. We got about 22 to 24 kids that are in that program. The open skate on Saturday and Sunday has picked up a lot since the Bills lost. So you're averaging about 35 to 50 kids on Saturdays and Sundays, which is good. And then we have about 2 months left, and then the rink closes.
We really prefer the season ended.
Not the Bills lost.
The Bills lost. Okay, they didn't win. They lost.
Not ready.
We got about 2 months left, and then the rink goes closed down, and then I start this weekend, Friday, got meetings about the summer stuff coming in, softball and floor hockey and everything else that's coming in the spring. And I'm meeting with him about the soccer and stuff like that.
And the sport court will go back up.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Yep, and we're gonna have more floor hockey than usual.
Good. We'll go down to our fire chief, Brian Muslak.
Good evening, everyone. Since our last meeting, we've had 7 calls. It brings us to 41 year-to-date. Just a couple safety reminders here, or one safety reminder, should I say. Try to give everybody a tip at every meeting. Bedrooms in basements are not allowed unless you have a second way of egress. So here again, we know people have finished basements and families spend time and stuff down there, but please, nobody sleep down there. Shouldn't be used for sleeping quarters unless it has a second way of egress, which would be putting in an egress window. In the event of a fire or even a carbon monoxide incident, there's only one way out of a basement without that egress window being installed. So I would hate to see us get called to your house and not be able to get down there in time, or, somebody perishes because of that, or one of our firefighters gets hurt because of that. So just remember, basements, 2 ways of egress if you're gonna have sleeping quarters down there. Secondly, and believe it or not, we run into quite a few of them out there when we go to these calls, not only at the fire department, but also with the building codes department. Most people don't think about that until something happens, and that's too late at that point in time. Second thing is, we do have a junior firefighter program in our fire department. We've had it for many years. I may not look like that no more, but I was 16 at one time, and I joined many years ago. And that actually age starts at 14. So any place youth between 14 and 18 can join the fire department as a junior firefighter. Obviously, they don't do the same thing that a firefighter does. It's over the age of 18, but they get to experience that training and eventually, hopefully, lead them up to when they turn 18, whether they want to stay in our community and they stay as a volunteer firefighter in our fire department, in our community, or if they go on to paid jobs in big cities or other communities throughout the country. But also, we also foster, good young men and good young women, and bring them up and give them some added values and morals, along with that they already get from their parents and their teachers at school and stuff like that. So it's a good program. We encourage anybody between the ages of 14 and 18 that are interested in that, reach out to us on a Tuesday evening, or if you go to the Depew Fire Department's website, there's contact information on there. Please, it's a good program, similar to Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, or any of your other youth programs that are out there. That's it.
We're gonna call those Brian's tips, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brian's Bites.
Yeah, Brian's Bites. Oh, that's good too.
Oh, that's really good.
How about legal here? Sam Albus.
All right, so, Brian, for my son's 10th birthday, we built a room in the basement. We built a wall. We put a couch there, and it's not a bedroom, but he asked to sleep there last night. We let him for one
Did he
night.
get a permit?
That's a floating wall.
Well,
It can come down.
Sam,
before
my
the
question would be is what if you would have had a fire last night or a carbon monoxide incident?
Yeah, would have been scary, so. But there's a place we could put an ingress window right there. So now we're gonna go do that. Thanks, Brian. I'm gonna call it Brian's window.
All right.
Not much from me tonight. That settlement agreement has a confidentiality provision, which is why the resolution is a little broad. We've caught up on most of the work in the legal department. The chief and I had a great meeting about some outstanding FOIL requests. Don's next with his demolition applications. And
Beautiful.
if anyone needs anything, let me know. As always, don't forget to send me your contract before you sign them. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Chief McNamara in our police department?
Good evening. Yep, for the month of January, your police department responded to 1,233 complaints. 104 of those were criminal. We lost one vehicle. We did recover it locally. 55 accidents. 3 of those were injury accidents. And we arrested a total of 51 individuals. 197 parking tags and 345 traffic summons issued this past month. Drive safely.
How are our new officers doing?
They're doing very well, actually. It's a busy time of the year, so they're getting lots of work. The FTOs are getting a workout too because there's a shortage of them, but yeah, they're moving progressively nicely.
Very good. Thank you, Chief. And we go down to building. We got Don Bielefeld Jr. and Kate Zermanachek.
Good evening, everyone. Not much to report, but we did have a special use permit, the Herbal IQ, which everyone's used to being over there in where the old Decades was, is now moving down the street, cross transits closer to Ream Road. They applied for a special use permit and was granted, so they will be moving locations soon. As always, it's the worst time of the year, snow and ice. We have a lot of ice buildup everywhere. People, please salt your walkways, you can keep your corner intersections, your hydrants, and your sidewalks clear of snow and ice, please.
Okay. Anything to add, Kate?
No, I think we're good. And you know what? It's been pretty quiet as far as people pulling building permits in the building department, but there has not been, excuse me, not been too many complaints, not been too many of the habitual things that we're chasing after.
How about the snowplow issues? Anybody been,
That's been,
That one's
everyone's
been
been
okay,
kind of
too.
coming in and filing their permits, and
Yeah.
that's decent.
sounds good. Okay, we'll go to trustees. Trustee Zimmer?
The village will be hosting a home hazardous waste event May 31st in conjunction with Erie County. Keep you posted with details. That's it.
Trustee Morosky?
Nothing, thank you.
Good, did they? Other side, Trustee Kraft?
It was nice to see more of the community at the meeting. I like to see you and Paul Sprata, but yeah, you, Mr. Dave. Nice to see more of the community. And Saturday, DCAT opened formally the community center. That was really cool to see. Former trustee Hammernick, Audrey, she would take us over there every now and then to see the progress. So it was really cool to see that transformation. We had a good time. My kids had a good time in the playroom. So thank you to you guys.
Deputy Mayor Adolph?
Yeah, I was just going to say thanks for coming out. This is your community, right? So we're happy to hear the voices of our village and take it into consideration for everything that's going on. I just also wanted to bring up that over the weekend we received our approval to become a Tree City USA from the Arbor Day Foundation again. So we once again received our application as approved. I want to extend a thank you to Ken and DPW and his staff for providing numbers for me to complete the application, and we're excited to continue to greenify our village. So thank you.
Okay. Village Administrator, Gronkowski?
Oh, give me 1 second. So right now is a busy time in Village Hall, and especially for me, we're working on the tentative budget for the next year. The last week in February, the mayor, myself, and one trustee, depending upon what meeting, will be meeting with every department head to go over where they are on this year's budget and kind of their wish lists and what they would hope to see to be added to their budget for next year to keep all of our services flowing as smoothly as we do right now. And then after that, we get the tentative budget together. It should be out on March 20th. And then from there, we'll have separate budget meetings to try to make it a digestible number.
Workable,
Yeah.
palatable, I like that word.
So stay tuned for more information on the budget. And also, we did put out our calendar of events. It's on our Facebook page, on our website, about all the various community events that we do throughout the year, starting with Arbor Day, where we hand out trees, and ending with our tree lighting, where Santa comes at the end of November. So
All right.
that's it.
So just to tag off of the Don Polsky Depew Community Center Saturday, was a big event. There were representatives from Kathy Hochul's office and the new Assembly member Pat Cheslinski, Legislator Todaro, representative from Patrick Gallivan's office, and myself. And it was a very nice event. Very nice event indeed. And down at the other end of Transit, or down at the end of Gould at Transit, in the old Shamrock, which is now a real nice-looking building. It's a private pinball, Nickel City Pinball Center Club. And Deputy Mayor and I were invited when we had Depew Pinball Day there. But they had an open house the other day, and it's a private club, so you can't just like go and have a kid's party there or anything like that. But they did a tremendous job on changing the outlook of that building, and just the whole street from here clearly down to Transit has really come along. We've put in all new sidewalks pretty much throughout this area with the money that we were able to get. So we're real happy about that. Anybody else have anything for any of us? Whoa, whoa, all right. Tie goes to our newest guest here, Ms. Owen.
This just kind of came up, like, I was thinking about it when you mentioned, like, Herbal IQ is moving. And,
Huh?
I call it the old Ralph's Plaza because I've been in this neighborhood my whole life. When they're plowing that parking lot and you try to leave Ream Road to turn onto Transit, sometimes the snowbanks, it is unsafe to turn onto Transit. So I don't know if that's a DPW thing or is it the property owner's job to make sure that those plows are, that those snow piles are.
Yeah, I'll be happy to address it. We're in the building department, so whenever that happens, you contact us, we contact them. I know that we did make a phone call to them this last heavy snowfall we had, and they did go out and cut the banks down the next day.
I mean, because it hasn't stopped snowing, so it's not like I'm pointing fingers at anyone.
No, well, unfortunately,
Sometimes it's unsafe.
That's
Like,
Buffalo weather
once
for you,
you
but
turn
if it
left,
does get
you
too high, don't hesitate to call us. We did call them, they did not come down the next day for us, but we do realize that, you know, when you get a lot of snow, they gotta put it somewhere.
Yep.
But corner intersections are never a good place to put them. Fortunately, sometimes they hire new plow drivers and things, and they don't know all the rules and regulations, and they do that, but if it happens, call us, we'll get it taken care of right away.
All right, good enough, thank you very much.
No problem.
My niece has finally gotten to the point where she's not asking her uncle to advocate on behalf of her. So she's on South Creek, and she had the issues with the CPA office and the Grapevine.
Yep,
Yep,
that
I'm
knocked
sure
out too.
yeah. So they had,
Yeah, if anyone has those problems, they can call us, and we'll be happy to advocate to get that snow removed from the intersections.
okay, Dave, you were second up with the hand there.
Dave Brooker, Fire Bottom League.
I know going to the Cheektowaga Town Board meetings, they've had streets in the town where they didn't have sidewalks, and I guess when you put in a sidewalk, you gotta put in a curb too. And what they did, they took a survey of all the families on the street. If they had enough people voting yes, they paid like the extra cost for it. Can the village do that with some of these streets that the people are talking about that don't have the sidewalks?
So what are you suggesting, that they get spread, the cost of the sidewalk?
Well, if the street's long enough, if you have enough people, can we put sidewalks in the curbs on their streets, and maybe they pay the little extra cost? Well, probably a lot of extra cost.
Yeah.
I don't know what they run, how much is it or anything like that.
Sidewalks and curbs are a lot, yes. I don't know what the deal was back when your neighborhood was put together with no sidewalks. We have Chateau Terrace off of Broadway that doesn't even have streetlights on it. So I don't know what was thinking back when it was the planning board and the zoning board when those developments were coming in, but that's a huge expense. I'd be interested to see what Supervisor Nowak, how he's handling that, the actual dollars.
I mean, this was probably going back to last spring, I think, but maybe, and I know the community block grant funds are only for certain areas and stuff, but maybe we could use it for something like that. I mean, all the streets should have sidewalks if possible.
Yeah, so to the ladies that are visiting today,
It did get open.
we lost, on this side of transit, we get the money from the federal government through the county, and that's why we did a lot of the sidewalks around Veterans Park and in front of the community center and across the tracks and so forth. And then we had some money on the Cheektowaga side, but it was down south of Broadway and north of Zurbrich, and then east of Borden, so it was a very small area. We replaced virtually every sidewalk that there was, and then we petitioned the town of Cheektowaga to look at the Fireman's Park area to see if they could get an income survey done there, and we've opened up a few spots there. But they also opened up some on Lee Street, I want to say.
I thought it was Lee, Airview.
Yeah, there's a couple on there that there's some money. It's not a lot of money every year, but we may be able to tackle it in smaller amounts. We still only get $100,000 from the federal government through Cheektowaga. It's not the Cheektowaga's money, it's a pass-through, in case
Right.
anybody tries to trick you, Dave. Okay, so that money comes there. We do our senior program with about half of that, and the rest of it goes into sidewalks. So we'll be looking at a couple of new areas that we've never looked at before.
I would say even if you just did from like Lee, Howard to Sholey, because so many people go to that playground.
Could be, yeah, that's something.
I mean, and during the spring and summer and fall, it's used for, the soccer fields are used back there.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
That parking lot's full, twice.
Just as an example, just ballparking, if you went from Ream down Lee, Howard, and even a little bit on,
On Howard, it's, a sidewalk does start
by Joni's house,
on one side, on the
the west side.
west side, halfway,
Yes,
and that's,
yeah,
that because we walk to PJ.
yeah.
We do a lot of walking to PJ Cool's.
I would say that it would take us probably 2 or maybe 3 seasons to do that, but something we'll look at. It's a new area for us to look at, and your concerns,
Does have one as well.
Who?
Frederick, the little.
the little tiny street, yeah.
Yeah, the dead end to go to the parking lot.
Yeah.
Okay, surely, that is it's in terrible shape.
Yeah.
There is a sidewalk.
Yeah. We start to look at that in early September. There'll be a public hearing, again like tonight, where the public can bring items, and we'd like to see the 4 of you come.
Bring the
A
whole
lot of
lot.
these things, we don't get anybody to come forward,
There's a lot
The
of
neighborhood is
now.
really turning over. It was more of a senior neighborhood, but the houses are selling, younger families are moving in. It is a much younger community, so my kids are in high school now, but I'd like to be able to see younger families feel safer there, so it's in the betterment for the community. It's something to definitely.
There's a
move
lot of
forward.
families that walk when the weather's nice, they
Yeah.
walk around the neighborhood. I mean, we do, even for trick or treating, you know, there's no stop signs when you're at Albert and George and Lee, there's nothing there, so it's just dangerous on Halloween.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and tell you in 2 weeks you'll be happy, okay? But I'll ask you though, all of you, all four of you, is there still a house that, you know the one I'm talking about, that has been vacant for probably 4 or 5 years now?
No, they flipped it.
Did
and
they?
it's sold for a lot of.
Oh, it was it.
Yeah, it's right
Yeah.
across the street from me.
That's gonna ruin the block
beautiful.
grant.
It's beautiful.
Is it?
Yeah, we went to beautiful.
And they put in an egress window.
Yes.
Yeah, the basement had been filled with water a number of times. Good. All right, good. All right.
Hi, since everybody else spoke.
Just your name and address.
Yeah, that's, yeah, well, the address is going to be a little surprising. Kristen Cameron, 96 Fairlawn Drive, East Aurora. I really am just here as moral support, so other than the fact that I parked my car outside her house, right by that intersection. No, I'm here in a personal capacity, but I'm also on the East Aurora Village Board, so it's fun to have this crossover. We don't usually get to
So
see
you
each
have
other.
Dr. Raby on that board?
Yes, he is.
And let's see, who else is, I forgot the mayor's name.
Peter McCurry.
Peter McCurry, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good board, so this was fun to see you guys tonight. We're on an off week, so.
Oh, good for you.
Thanks for
You get a
coming.
lot more people than we do?
No, often fewer.
Well, normally it's just Dave and
Yeah,
maybe Paul. That's
we've
it.
tripled our numbers tonight.
That's what at the end of the night, Peter always says, "Oh, thank you all for coming," and it's to the staff,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
us.
Good, good.
So, thanks, guys.
Yep, thank you. All right. Anything else? Anybody? No? All right, we'll entertain the claims and accounts.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make a motion that the claims and accounts have been audited by the Finance Committee and are approved for payment as follows.
From the general fund, $194,539.12. 0 from community development, 0 from sewer. Capital projects, $49,634.50, for a total of $244,173.62.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried, and I'll entertain an adjournment.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make a motion that we adjourn tonight's meeting at 7:50 with a moment of silence honoring past Chief Michael Hare, who was a 37-year member of the West End Hose Company Number 6, and he was also the department chief 2004 through 2006, as well as Elizabeth Kent, the grandmother of Tyler and Aiden Kent from Central Hose Number 4.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. We'll close the meeting. It's